If you know, you know. And if you know that if you were once a cheater, you will always be a cheater. Now, Deontay Wilder came out responding to the news that Dillian White tested positive for banned substance, and he had a lot to say. Deontay Wilder stated, "Now here you have a fighter that has been recently reported of taking PEDs. In fact, it was said he had more than one substance in his body. This fighter has been caught before using PEDs. This is his second attempt. This shit has to stop. The bleeding has to stop somewhere. We just had a fighter to fucking die in the ring because of taking too many blows to the head. And you have idiots like Dillian White wanting to cheat just to come up in his career because he's not good enough to do it on his own. Oscar Rivas was his opponent that Dillian White fought recently on drugs, in which Oscar dropped his drug user and almost beat him. So Mr. White, all that shit halfway worked, you still got put on your ass. I will get my money back. He been claiming to want to fight me, but the question is, if you're doping with a non-champion, just imagine what will you try to use if you had the chance to fight me? Obviously, overdose. Him and his promoter Eddie Hearn gave the WBC hell, while all along this motherfucker been cheating. Shake my head. Then he have the audacity to try and snitch on his countryman AJ and accuse him of doing drugs when he himself is doing it as well. On top of all that, his promoter tried his best to cover this up before White's recent fight. Somebody come and look at this shit. I get criticized about saying things like I will kill you and mean it, but without any substance whatsoever in my body. But here we have so many fighters like the likes of Dillian White that flood their body with PEDs just to advance to the next level, while committing and attempting to murder, but want to speak against PED users. Shake my head. Get the fuck out of here. Laugh my ass off. Boxing is a place where you can hate it but love it at the same time. This guy is definitely the donkey of the day, and that's 100% till this day. Hashtag hee-haw. So Wilder is looking like a prophet about now. I mean, he called it. He called the fact that Dillian White was on something years ago. He called out the fact that Big Baby Miller was actually on something. And like I said, he looking like a prophet right about now. And it's funny that when Wilder wanted to fight Povetkin tested positive. When Wilder wanted to fight the guy he replaced with Washington, that guy turned out to be on PEDs. And when he tried to fight Ortiz turned out to be on something. So Wilder definitely know what time it is. Unlike AJ, who ducked the Wilder fight to fight a cheater, which was Povetkin, that came off a fight where he used PEDs and they allowed it in Russia. And AJ, instead of fighting Wilder, where Wilder accepted his $15 million offer to come all the way to the UK, because he the world champion, not a Pacific continent. Nah, he the world champion. He was willing to go to the UK. However, AJ turned around and fought Povetkin instead. And now Dillian White got tested for PEDs. Eddie Hearn covered it up instead of telling it to the public, instead of informing Oscar Rivas, because as we seen and as Wilder stated, fighters are dying from this sport. Max just died for taking too many blows to the head. But instead of Eddie Hearn doing his job and informing the public, or at least inform the fighter that Dillian White finna fight, you do the opposite thing and try to cover up. Man, Eddie Hearn and Dillian White looking like a hypocrites. They looking like liars and cheaters. And like I stated time and time again, Eddie Hearn keep lying, stating that Dillian White been the mandatory for 600 days when Wilder just fought his mandatory Brazil. So how can Wilder have 2 mandatories at the same time? But let the UK fans tell it. They can't put 1 and 1 together. It's like they don't have no common sense. But more importantly, Dillian Whyte got busted using 2 type of PEDs, and he didn't even get busted by VADA, a strict commission. Nah, he got tested by more lenient agency, and he still got busted. So who knows what he actually took to actually get caught by such a lenient agency. Now, like I said, Dillian Whyte accused AJ, talk shit about Big Baby Miller for taking PEDs, and then ended up doing the same thing. Can you picture this? Picture a perfect picture. Now picture Dillian Whyte doping in that. Now picture Deontay Wilder making a meme of that. Now the reason I say that is because we all know what Wilder does to his mandatories. He turns them to memes. And he was about to turn Dillian Whyte to a meme, because even with steroids in his system, he still got knocked down by Oscar Rivas. So imagine what Wilder will do to him. Man, he would have took every steroids there is, and he would probably still got knocked out. Either way you look at it, Dillian Whyte is a cheater. He should be banned from the sport, because this ain't his first time. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. In the boxing game, if you cheat twice, you at least gotta get suspended for 2 years. They must fix the sport of boxing. They must test every fighter by VADA testing at the highest level, especially at the championship level or the contender level. And that's why I keep making and I stay consistent with what I'm doing as far as calling these fighters about not taking VADA testing. But fans get mad at me when I'm doing my job. All we want is an even playing field for these fighters, because as Wilder stated, they ain't playing basketball or soccer. They're hitting each other in the face. So if you're talking about murder, you really need to be charged for murder for taking steroids if you go into the boxing ring using PEDs. But let the fans tell it. They call out Wilder for wanting all his opponents to take VADA testing. And even though he a clean fighter and just naturally gifted and a freak athlete, they call out Floyd Money Mayweather for wanting Manny Pacquiao to take VADA testing in 2009. And they try to blame Floyd Mayweather for that fight not happening instead of Pacquiao. When I want Manny Pacquiao to take VADA testing for the Keith Thurman fight, fans getting mad at me, lying to me, talking about, oh, there is VADA testing, when they know damn well that there isn't VADA testing and it's Nevada testing. And the reason why PEDs need to be banned from the sport, period, and fighters need to get suspended at least for 2 years, if not for good, is because we seen fighters die in the ring for taking too much punishment. However, y'all want these fighters to dope and take some supplements that make them faster, stronger, think smarter, and make them more sharper and restore their youth, etc., etc. But we all know what time it is. They hate the real and love the fake. And like I always say, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the day. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these Eddie Hearn fans. And follow Lantoon Boxing for the funniest boxing memes on Instagram. And follow me on Instagram at AkiTV in the description box below. And subscribe to my channel on AkiTV on YouTube. And click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live. And to be continued on the next episode of AkiTV. Peace, and we out.